Hey, decided to make a short little video today on how I make maps. Or if I'm making an exercise variant or something. I like to draw maps for fun. I'm not the best, some people draw amazing maps. For the games, let me tell you how I sort of do it. What map I'm currently working on is I have a friend who is working on a game about Germany, post Treaty of Westphalia. That's, 30 Years War, and it's about Germany after that war and what happened. And so he sent me his prototype map, and I'm just making a better version of it. So what I do first is I find a base map. This map right here is what I use as my base map. So I looked up, Germany 1648. Of course, I also tried, Germany Westphalia Treaty. There's also a town called Westphalia, so it's probably not the best. The Westphalia Treaty map. Look at that, just try to find the right map I needed. This was the best map I could find, which is actually quite good. Anytime you are trying to make a map of something, I do recommend you find a map of it first. And then I save all my maps on my computer. Let me get this. Yeah, okay, so I got maps. I actually save it in a folder called maps. And then it's not entirely maps. I have some other stuff in there, but then also World War II folder where then I save some nice World War II maps. Mostly Axis and Allies. Um, then I go in and I use a program called GIMP. It's basically free Photoshop. It stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program, I believe. But if you have Photoshop, that works just as well. I don't, just because I don't want to pay that money. Well, I don't have the money to pay that anyways. But so we have our base image here. And then what I do is then I go around. I draw in all the borders. Right? Because it's really hard to work on just the original image. I need to draw in all the borders. So I go and you can see I have this black line. I go and I take this and I just draw a line. I have a drawing pad. You don't need to get a drawing pad. This one's like a pretty cheap one though. Um, like it's not one that's fancy and has like the screen on it or anything. No, it's just literally just a pad. But it is way more easier to draw borders on that. Let's say I was drawing this area. I also look at the map that he sent me, and his map is much more simple. And draw that. And then what's important is whatever style you're doing. My maps, they used to be quite simple, but over time, I've made them more and more stylistic. So since this one is, 1600s, let me tell you how I'll do the style for this. I'll just, let me just quickly draw this. I'm gonna probably speed up this section. Okay, so I finished the area. I traced around the line. So now what I'm gonna do is I just put on my background. You can see this is the area that I traced. These are all the areas that I've traced so far. I've finished tracing that area. Then what I'm gonna do is I want to get it to match the style, right? 1600 style. The way I do that is I'm going to go. Does that work? No, it doesn't. But basically, this is what it's going to sort of look like when I'm done, besides adding in the names. What I want to do is I duplicate the layer, that way I can still work with it, and then I basically select all the lines, and then I hit this button. It allows me to make a line around the lines. So that's what I do. It's taking a while, probably because I have a lot of lines. I don't know how to get it to just do just that area, Well, actually, I could if I did a lot more layers. I hate having a lot of layers, though. Oh, that popped up. Background. Anyway, so this is then what it looks like. And why is there that dot there? Oh, it looks like I accidentally wrote a little bit right there. It's nothing a little eraser can't help. Here. Oh. So now what I'm going to do is, since I really only want the inside line of this area, I'm just going to select the outside line. My eraser. Erase that. Erase everything else. And then I also sort of have to select these areas, which is a bit fussy. I have to select all these. If it was all attached in one, if I attached these areas, I wouldn't have to. But I don't have them attached yet. And I'm trying to do areas of the same color, so that's why I did a yellow. The yellow represents Austria, or not really Austria, but the Habsburgs. So I'm doing all the Habsburg lands. That way I just finish them off. Now what's this layer? So then these are the other colors. So just turn the other colors back on. Merge those together. So that's the other territories I've done. And this is like sort of background coloring that I'm doing. And fill that area in. And then that's what that looks like. And of course we gotta put on our names. Region, this is instead of the font I'm using. And for this, you just hit this button here. I haven't been naming these other areas, but the other areas I've been working on. But just for example, we'll put a name here. So I did Old English font. And of course, you want the text to be in black. I can change the sizes and everything like that. Then this. Oh, don't want that color. It's a bit finicky sometimes. Tyrol, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, Tyrol. And that doesn't look like I need to change that size. That seems like a pretty good size. And then just set that in the middle there. There we go. And then I have a bit of texture. Just toss that on to there. And how the texture worked, how I did that. It's very, I don't even know if you can notice it, but it's a very light texture. I just took a brush. Just got like whatever color, let's do golden color. Sort of yellowish, sort of brownish maybe. And I did like an acrylic. You can definitely see that one. If I just do an area like that. And what I do is then I just take a blur. Just blur it in. So I'll just go. Yeah. Where it's very light now. So just spots on the paper. But like it's to represent old paper. Okay. They tell the Austrians or Habsburgians start off with a lot of land because these areas were controlled by Spain, also controlled by the Habsburgs. And yeah, of course you can compare that to the original map and everything. For the waters, well, so what I do for inspiration is I go, I look at maps from that era, maybe. Well, for this one I did. I usually don't, because I usually do like World War II or modern maps, so I don't really need to look. But if I do like something like this, right, of course the old font, and if I went, this is what's called David Rumsey's map collection. And I used, this is just a giant map collection. And of course I go, and I say I want to look at maps from this era. So I just went, the year. I said I want a map from 1648. That's the year that this game takes place in, or starts in. And I went down and you see like this map. Zooming up on this, so I noticed that the borders are dotted lines, and then they sort of have this colored edge around, and then these dashed lines for the sea borders. So I sort of wanted to do that a bit. I didn't do the dash lines, but that's what gave me the idea to do the line around the borders. I originally then filled them in just blank, so it would just sort of look like this. But I decided I liked it better filled, so I filled it in. And then how I'm gonna do, of course, those same sea zones. Of course, I am just gonna do something like this up. Like there's a sea zone around here, right? Here's a sea here, so I would take this. I want this line brush. Let's see, I'll paint it on. Let's get it very low. Higher. Then I'm just gonna go. Actually, I'll do this. And just sort of just go around. Thought about doing something like this. So I could go in this. I'm pressing like what is it? Control Shift, and that makes it be straight. So I don't have to worry about like trying to get it to line up. Do just something like this. It's been okay. I mean, it's very hard to read Pomerania, so what I think I'm going to do, and I already knew it was going to be hard to read Pomerania. So what I think I'm going to do is to read Pomerania. I'll grab just like this same color that I use background. Just take that like that. Take something like that. Let's see, what does that look? I want that to be a straight line, so let's just do Control Shift again. That does make it much easier to read that name. And of course, this board, is going to be much bigger than this image. And there's a bit of an outline around it. I'll remove that. That's sort of how I do it. Of course, I can put in numbers. I can put in other stuff. I got where is it? Maps. Yeah, I got like, global 1940 maps. Loads. What you can do if you want like textures on like mountains or other stuff like that, I'm sort of less expert in. I would assume you just almost similar to the Uber map where you would find a topographical image, satellite image, something like that, and then you go on top of, this map. This one I was making like trying to do a 42. It's much harder to edit a map than it is to create your own map. I try to take that and make it be like a 42. Because you have to, it's so hard to match colors. But yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna work. I think if I did that, or actually more, like, maybe like a very light, I think very lightness might work. Like, yeah, a very light version. That might work. I'm just gonna save this. That's how I sort of do that. Oh yeah, topographical. Hey, um, think about thumbnail ideas, and I decided I wanted to use this map for my thumbnail, so I decided I'll just show it. But I just want to show you, I did these cities here. Just get the brush, black, red. This is for a game that I actually never finished making. Maybe I will. This is from a long time ago, and then for the C-zones, I do them on a separate layer, fill it in blue, and then fade into white. Once again, using a blur brush. Okay, all that was all, and goodbye.